911, what's emergency?
We didn't have a call from an employee. We just walked in the door, our husband and I, and there's blood in the foyer, and it looks like something possibly happened.
This emergency call was placed in 2001. For over 2 decades, the case remained unresolved, unanswered questions lingering as the investigation went cold.
I don't know. I don't understand. Very bewildering, very strange.
There's no tears coming out of your face.
Stick with this story all the way through, because when everything finally connects, it unfolds in a way no one saw coming.
Crime Tracker.
It began on June 18, 2024. Eugene Gliger stepped out of his apartment in Washington, D.C., expecting nothing more than a routine morning. As he walked down the street, everything seemed normal, until it wasn't. Without warning, members of a U.S. Marshals task force moved in and surrounded him.
All right, we'll adjust it. Okay. Hold on. They're not made for comfort, but we'll make it.
I get it.
Yeah, we'll make it. We'll ease it up on it. Yeah, no problem. Ain't got nothing personal wrong with you.
Yeah.
Before he had a chance to process what was happening, officers confiscated his phone and secured his hands in handcuffs.
Do you go to the office, or what do you do?
No, I work from home.
Okay. What were you doing out here? Just chilling out in the fresh air?
Just having some coffee. Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't know anything about this warrant? Okay. Our boss will tell you everything about it. It's nothing big.
I'm going to take him. Hold his arm.
He was transported directly to the station. But instead of being processed into a holding cell, the marshals escorted him straight to an interview room. The handcuffs were removed. For a brief moment, there was relief. Maybe this wasn't an arrest. That relief didn't last. Ankle restraints were secured in place. This was not a routine conversation. Eugene still had no idea why he had been taken into custody. The detectives left him alone for a while, no explanation, no paperwork, just silence. Long enough for questions to start racing through his mind. Eventually, the door opened. 2 investigators stepped inside. They had come from far away to speak with him.
Hi, Eugene.
Hello.
I am Detective Graston. This is Detective DuPoy.
Hi there.
From Montgomery County.
Okay.
I'm sure you're wondering what this is all about.
I would really like to know.
Yeah.
This has been really hard, whatever's happening.
Well, we're going to get through all of that with you. We just have to do some paperwork real quick.
Yep.
From the moment the marshals placed him in restraints, Eugene had been vocal about the handcuffs. He said they were too tight. He said they were hurting him. So before the detectives asked a single substantive question, they addressed that first. They checked his wrists. They asked how he was feeling. They made sure he was physically okay. Only after that did the conversation begin.
Before we can talk to you about anything, we have to read you your rights. So I have some of this filled out already, but what is your physical condition today? Do you have any injuries? Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling a little bit caught off guard, and I'm from the handcuffs. Seems to be a lump on my hand. I don't know if I've been holding my hand above my heart, just so hopefully it helps to heal.
All right. Nothing that's clouding your mental judgment or anything like that, though?
No.
Okay.
He gave them a long list of his issues, but physically he was fine. But this sudden arrest took a psychological toll.
And are you sober right now?
Yeah, I'm 100% sober.
Okay.
In the past, he had battled with alcohol. He couldn't help but question if that had anything to do with why he was there. But in reality, these were just routine questions.
Been
These are just
sober
questions
for years.
we ask everybody.
Yeah, these
Go
are
ahead.
just the form questions.
Mm-hmm.
What is your highest education level completed?
High school.
Eugene was now living in D.C., but back in the 90s, he lived in Maryland with his mother and attended Chevy Chase High School. That's where these detectives had come from.
Do you speak any other languages?
Not fluent.
Okay, so English is, you're comfortable? Okay.
His last name, Gliger, was of Romanian origin, though he didn't speak the language. After verifying basic information, the detectives read him his Miranda rights in English. Once the formalities were complete, they finally explained why they had come.
So now that that's out of the way, we are from Montgomery County. We actually work in the cold case unit. We investigate crimes that have been unsolved for quite a period of time. We investigate homicides. So we were working on a case that came from Chevy Chase. And when we were going through the case file, your name was in there as someone that was related to the family, whether we have a big list of people, but friends, family, something like that. So do you recall back in 2001, Leslie Preer?
Yes, that she was murdered, yeah.
Yes, okay.
The detectives took him back over 20 years, to a quiet street on Drummond Avenue in Maryland. That's where 49-year-old Leslie Pryor lived. She ran her life by the clock, being late was not like her. So when 10 a.m. came and went on May 2, 2001, and she still hadn't arrived at work, alarm bells rang. By 10:30, her boss was already trying to figure out what had gone wrong. The first call was to Sandy, Leslie's husband. He said she had been getting ready for work when he left the house. She should have been at her job by now. Something was clearly wrong. Both rushed to the house immediately. By 11:30 a.m., her boss was knocking on the front door, no answer. Shortly after, Sandy arrived. The front door was unlocked. One step inside revealed the horror. Blood covered the entryway, furniture was overturned, and it was clear a struggle had occurred. Leslie's boss called 911 as Sandy began searching the house, dread growing with every step.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm at 4824 Drummond, Chevy Chase. I work for a company, and we didn't have a call from an employee. We just walked in the door, our husband and I, and there's blood, and it looks like something possibly happened.
Okay.
So,
You're not in the house anymore, are you?
we're in the house right now. The husband's looking around.
You hadn't heard, you're with the husband?
I'm with the husband, yes.
Sandy Pryor had last seen his wife around 7:45 that morning, just before he left for work.
When was the last time
The last time the husband saw her was 7:45 this morning.
Okay, well, those should she have a car or anything?
No, she was going to walk to the bus.
Okay.
There were no signs of forced entry, but the blood at the doorway indicated that whatever happened began the moment someone entered the house.
Is there a lot of blood?
But it looks like there's possibly maybe a struggle, a couple things knocked down.
Okay.
While Leslie's boss stayed on the phone, Sandy moved cautiously through the house. That's when he discovered the dog locked in the basement.
Boomer, come here.
Is that a dog? Is that a dog?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said some things were knocked over?
Yeah.
By then, Sandy had searched the first floor and the basement, but Leslie was nowhere to be found. As he was about to go upstairs, dispatch instructed them to stop and wait outside.
Can I ask you guys to step out of the house?
Sure.
Are you on a cell phone?
Yes.
Okay.
Police took control of the scene from there. Upstairs, in the master bathroom, they found Leslie, face down in the shower, the water still running. Her life had ended in her own home back in 2001. And now, nearly 23 years later, Eugene Gliger sat in an interrogation room in 2024, being questioned about her murder.
It's the case that we are investigating. You went to BCC with her daughter at the time?
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay. And what was your relationship with Lauren, the daughter?
We had dated.
Lauren and Eugene had been high school sweethearts, living just 10 minutes apart. Back then, they were almost inseparable.
Eugene spent his teenage years in Maryland. But by 2001, when Leslie died, he was 21 and had moved to Washington, D.C. If this murder happened in Maryland, what did it have to do with him now? Leslie had suffered 7 deep cuts to her head. There were clear signs of strangulation around her neck. She had been beaten, choked, and then dragged upstairs into the shower. Someone had tried to wash the scene away. Forensics later found large areas of the foyer wiped down, but the cleanup incomplete. There were still swipe marks on the door, the floor, and along the stairs. Whoever was cleaning up left in a hurry, probably when Leslie's boss started knocking on the door.
And from your dates of birth, I can see you're a little bit younger than Lauren. So was she already graduated from high school, or were you guys both still in high school when you guys were dating?
We were both in high school. She had finished high school, and I believe we had dated for a few months while she was in college, but that was it.
Okay.
Forensic teams discovered blood at the crime scene that didn't belong to Leslie. It came from an unknown male. Traces were found near the dining room window, more at the kitchen doorway, and a streak along the back door. Whoever attacked Leslie had been bleeding and fled through the back. The same unknown DNA was also under her fingernails. She had fought back. Now, decades later, that lingering question resurfaced. Was this DNA the reason Eugene was sitting in that interrogation room? Once, Eugene and Lauren's relationship had seemed unbreakable. But college had changed everything. They attended different universities and drifted apart long before Leslie's murder. Both had moved on. So why was Eugene suddenly being tied to a crime from a life he thought he had already left behind?
So back then, when you guys were dating, where did you live?
I lived in with my mother in Rockville.
Okay. Do you remember the address or what street or anything?
I wish I did. I don't.
Okay. And you said you lived with your mother. Were your parents separated?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did your dad live?
He lived in Chevy Chase, and yeah.
Do you know the street or neighborhood? Or?
Brookside Drive.
Brookside
Yeah.
Drive. Okay.
Yeah.
Back in 2001, detectives had focused on someone else. There were no signs of forced entry, which suggested Leslie knew her attacker. The DNA was male, and the last man known to be with her was her husband, Sandy, just 22 days after her death. Investigators brought him in as their prime suspect and pushed him to confess.
We all know who's responsible. It's just a matter of getting to the truth of it all and having you explain to us what drove all this. Give us a break. Give yourself a break. It's got to be a living nightmare.
They told him the evidence would eventually catch up to him, that it was only a matter of time.
How long can you keep your job doing that? It's got to tell on you. People at work are wondering. Your family's wondering. Everybody's wondering. And they're reading the papers and they're not seeing anything but police picking up some stranger or something like that. They're all intelligent people. They don't have to be rocket scientists. They don't have to be police detectives to figure out where this is headed.
But Sandy didn't waver. He stood firm and denied any involvement.
Sandy, the inevitable.
Let me say this. I'll stay here all night with you guys and listen to you talk. But I repeat, I'm not saying anything unless my lawyer's here.
The strongest lead investigators had was the unknown male DNA found under Leslie's fingernails. Sandy voluntarily provided his DNA. It didn't match. He was innocent. From there, detectives widened their search. Every man connected to Leslie was tested, family members, friends, neighbors, co-workers. One by one, they were ruled out. No matches. No arrests. As time passed, the case grew cold. A year later, Leslie's daughter, Lauren, contacted detectives, asking if there had been any progress.
No.
Well, first of all, I guess you called me and you said that you wanted to come by and talk or so forth, so here we are. Go ahead.
Oh, basically it's me. I haven't really had much contact with you guys. And I was just wondering if what I should be doing or if there's, like, where things stand.
Well, we followed, a number of leads, in reference to the revelation some time ago, I guess towards the end of last summer, where we found some material, DNA material that looked like it was from someone else.
Once Sandy was cleared by DNA, the investigators' strongest lead had vanished.
Which, and as you know, we were focusing pretty strongly on your father at that point in time.
Right.
Given the facts and circumstances of the cases, we knew them at that time. And of course, when that came out, then we began to spread that out, because obviously there was someone else there or within the residence. In the course of that investigation, we haven't found a thing that would tie it. We've done a number of interviews with people who do burglaries, things like that, home invasion things, because if your dad's not involved in this, it's got to be someone that would have a reason to be in the house or something like that. That wasn't an uninvited guest or something. There's a number of scenarios we can play with, but that's basically what we're left with.
With no other leads, the case slowly faded into the cold case files, remaining there for decades. Then, in 2022, the cold case unit reopened it. Not long after, Eugene Gliger found himself sitting in that same interview room.
You and Lauren had dated well before her mother was killed. Do you remember, were you still in touch with Lauren when this stuff happened to her mom?
No, we had broken up a couple years before, at least. Maybe longer, I'm not sure. And I believe I reached out just to send my regards, and maybe saw her a couple times, and but that was it.
Okay. Do you remember how you found out about it?
I remember I was at work, and I believe she had actually told me that she had come into where I was working at a restaurant, and she had told me that what had happened.
What restaurant was that? Do you remember?
It was a restaurant called Black's.
Sandy had never been comfortable with Eugene dating his daughter, and his instincts weren't without reason. Eugene's past included a weapons charge, a DUI, suspected neighborhood thefts, and rumors of an assault from his high school years. Lauren had defended him at the time, insisting he wasn't dangerous. Yet, for Sandy, something about Eugene never felt right.
When you were younger, did you ever get in any trouble with the police or anything?
Not particularly, no.
Okay.
The detectives were already familiar with every detail of his criminal record, and his attempt to lie only heightened their suspicion.
Were you at her house a lot of the time? Or did you guys spend more time at your house? Or what did you guys do when you...
I mean, it was a mix. My house, her house, being out. I mean, we're young and teenagers, so there was, going out and...
Okay.
Those details mattered. They put Eugene near Leslie's home, both geographically and socially. Back in 2001, the DNA had no match, and the trail went cold. But science kept advancing. By 2018, a new forensic method had emerged, one that could trace suspects through distant relatives. It had already solved hundreds of cold cases. Leslie's case would be next.
When you found out about Lauren's mom, do you remember who you were dating at the time, or were you dating anybody?
I don't recall who I was dating at the time, but I'm not 100% certain.
Okay.
I mean, I had been dating, but I'm not sure.
Eugene had never been a suspect, so he was never interviewed or DNA swabbed. Then, in September 2022, the unknown DNA was sent to Aram Labs. What came back wasn't a direct name, it was a connection. A distant relative in Romania had unknowingly uploaded their DNA to a genealogy database while searching for family history. That single link broke the case wide open. Detectives spent the next 2 years constructing a detailed family tree, eliminating branches one by one. In the end, every path led straight to Eugene Gliger.
How well did you know Lauren's mom? Like, was there ever any kind of a weird relationship between you two after Lauren?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't in touch, so I don't...
Okay. So you were never, like, dating Lauren's mom or anything like that, behind the scenes?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't ever in touch.
On paper, he didn't fit the profile of a suspect. A teenage boyfriend who had drifted out of Lauren's life years before the murder, no clear reason to be near Leslie again. And yet, his DNA was inside her home.
So from the crime scene, we have DNA from the person who was there when Leslie died. So there's Leslie's blood all over the place, obviously, but then there's also another DNA profile that was picked up from the crime scene. And we had put that into CODIS, our database from the National CODIS DNA Index System, and it has never hit. So whoever was there, whoever's DNA was also on the scene, has never been arrested. And that's why we were going through doing all of these elimination DNA samples to find out, you know, okay, well, this person couldn't have done it because we matched their DNA to it. So we realized that they never talked to you, never did anything, and we wanted to find out more about you and if there was any kind of situation where you could have been at the house at that time.
I'm a little confused. So to find out more and talk to me, why not just call me and ask me to come in and talk to me versus have marshals come and arrest me and bring me in? I'm just confused as to why that's the case.
Well, because we needed to talk to you in a controlled environment, and because there's a little bit more to it than what we've told you so far.
Could you tell me?
Well, we're getting there. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to be a little bit forthcoming before we...
I mean, I feel a little bit trapped here, like...
Well, you're under arrest, so you should feel trapped. Okay?
Right, and so I think, you know, I mean, probably asking for a lawyer is my best course of action at this point.
Okay.
Instead of doing any more discussing or talking about it, it just doesn't seem... I don't understand, so I'd like to have somebody...
Well, that's why we're trying to talk to you about it.
I know.
But we can't...
And there's 2 of you and 1 of me, so sure. I feel a little outnumbered, and I probably would need some type of representation if I am under arrest, as you said, which I am.
Yeah, okay.
And so I think that having a lawyer would be the best for me in my interest at this point.
That's totally fine.
Once the genetic trail led from Romania back to Eugene in Washington, D.C., detectives knew it still wasn't enough for an arrest. They needed his DNA. The way they obtained it played out like a scene from a movie. On June 9, 2024, detectives launched a covert operation. Eugene had just returned from a trip to Europe and landed at Dulles International Airport. Undercover agents subtly guided him into a secondary screening room. He was left alone with a row of bottled water on the table in front of him. Eventually, he picked one up, took a sip, and tossed it aside. Exactly what the agents needed. They collected the bottle and rushed it to the lab. The results were clear: the unknown male DNA belonged to Eugene Gliger.
And we don't have to ask you any more questions, but we are going to just tell you some stuff. Okay? So from the crime scene, the DNA that was taken, we actually have a sample of your DNA, and it was compared to the crime scene DNA, and it matched. So we know that you were there at the time when Leslie died.
But I never gave a sample of DNA.
That's correct. We obtained a sample from a discarded water bottle that you drank out of. So you were followed and we collected it after you discarded it into the trash, and it was swabbed and it was compared. So your DNA matches the crime scene DNA.
I don't know what to say. I have no recollection. I have no memory. I don't know what to say.
The detectives wanted to know if Eugene had any other explanation, any reason his DNA might be found under Leslie's fingernails.
Okay, well, that's why we wanted to talk to you, to find out if there's any other explanation. But we can't ask you any more questions if you want a lawyer present.
Yeah, I think I should have a lawyer present. I don't know what to do or say. It doesn't make sense to me, so I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Do you have a lawyer that you...
No.
Okay.
I don't have to call? I don't know. I'd probably call my girlfriend and ask her to help. I don't know.
He had nothing to offer. No explanation, no recollection, just the familiar blend of denial and confusion as the walls closed in around him.
I don't know. I don't understand. This is all very bewildering, very strange.
Eugene asked the detectives to explain everything in detail, as if fully understanding the case could somehow alter the outcome.
Is there more that you're going to tell me? Is there more?
I mean, we've told you plenty. We can't continue to ask you questions.
If you want to keep talking, we can. But if you want to stop, you have to let us know for sure.
Yeah.
We can tell you more about, what we think happened.
I mean, what you think happened, I don't know. I can't verify. I don't know. I don't recall. I don't have any memory. I didn't do anything that you're talking about, so I don't know. And I don't feel like I can... I don't know how to answer and go into... I don't want to incriminate myself with questions. You guys are professionals. I'm not. I don't know. I really do think I need an attorney. I need to use the phone, and I need to call someone, and I need legal representation before I respond to anything else.
That was when something else drew the detective's attention.
There's no tears coming out of your face.
I'm very dry right now.
You're dry?
I'm very dry. I'm parched. I'm dehydrated. You can probably see my eyes are bloodshot red because I'm just tired and drained. I don't know what's going on. You want me to drink water so I can tear? Like, what is wrong with you?
I don't want you to tear. I just don't want you to...
What are you trying to say?
I'm just trying to say that this seems a little put on.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my God, you're so full of it. You're after. This is the police. This is, yes, like it makes sense.
Back in his teens, Eugene had been connected to a string of burglaries. A new theory emerged: he knew the house, he knew the layout. Perhaps he hadn't intended to harm anyone, maybe he assumed the place would be empty. What he hadn't anticipated was encountering Leslie.
What we're trying to figure out is how your blood was at the scene that day.
If there's an alternate explanation, that's why we wanted to talk to you today, okay? So I feel like you just need to take a breath for a second, okay? That's what we're trying to figure out. Why is your blood there?
Could it have been, an interrupted burglary? Did something happen where you didn't expect anybody to be home?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I don't recall. Again, you're asking me questions. I don't know.
I'm not
and
asking
I
you a
asked
question.
You did. You just asked me a question, and I asked for legal representation. Okay. And you guys are very smug, looking at me like I've done something, and of course it's innocent until proven guilty, right?
By that point, there was nothing left to say. As the interview drew to a close, detectives noticed something significant. Eugene had never directly denied the accusations.
You keep saying you don't remember and you don't have any recollection, but if somebody was not involved, it would be an adamant, I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I definitely didn't do it. Like, this is absolutely, this is, I've been an alcoholic in recovery for years now. I've been sober for years. And there are many, many times in which earlier life wasn't great. You know, abusive father, issues at, you know, but at the same time, this isn't something that I know I didn't do it. I know I wasn't involved. And I just don't understand how this has come to this.
I don't know either. That's why we wanted to talk to you. I don't know why your blood is there also. I don't know.
Wow.
The only person that knows is Leslie, and she can't tell us.
The interview concluded. Eugene was escorted out and taken into custody. The evidence had spoken louder than anything he could say. He was charged with first-degree murder. In May 2025, he pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, admitting he had killed Leslie, though he insisted it wasn't premeditated. The plea carried a potential sentence of up to 30 years. On August 28, 2025, he was sentenced to 22 years in prison, followed by 5 years of probation. Eugene never explained why. All he said was that he didn't know. He claimed he couldn't remember the attack, calling it the greatest regret of his life. What happened inside that house remained frozen in 2001. In the end, there was no dramatic reveal, no sudden confession, no neat moment tying everything together, just a long gap in time finally closing. Stories like this hold our attention because the smallest details often matter more than the headlines. Here on this channel, we follow the cases that don't scream for attention. The next story is already waiting. Thank you for watching.
Crime Tracker.